So I'd like next to invite Mr. Matthew Gibson, who's our Australian panel convener for A2, Power Transformers and Reactors.
Thanks, Angela. So my name's Matthew Gibson, and I'll just take you through quickly today a bit of an update on the activities locally and internationally for the A2 Study Committee. A2 stands for basically power transformers, all sorts of power transformers, all sorts of reactors, and the components that go along with them, bushings, tap changes, and accessories. And the scope of the study committee basically tries to deal with the full life cycle of the transformer, right through from theory, R&D, design sort of areas, through to manufacturing, testing, installation, operating, and then right through to end of life, repair and disposal. I'll skip that. So the currently active working group areas for the study committee at the moment are shown on the screen there. Different colours there. So the top line in blue are working groups that are very close to finishing up, and you should have some technical brochures available maybe at the end of, early next year with any luck. And the rest of them there in green are ones that are well into their work, but will still be a little further away. I assume people get the slides after, so I won't go through all of them. This slide basically shows some of the newer working groups that have just been created this year. Or recently at least, so these are areas that people can get involved in if they are interested. Particularly the top one there, tap changes, specification, condition assessment and maintenance guideline. That was one that was an older one that stalled but has been restarted again, and I think they're looking for members. And the last two on the list there, the supplier qualification and design review, are older brochures, but they're a bit dated now, so they're being revamped, and they're very early stages looking for members. So if anyone is interested in any of those, please come and see me, let me know. We also have a survey that's been out for a fair while now, but I think they're still looking for responses. It's on a failure survey for lower voltage generator step-up units. So these are transformers that are associated with solar and wind farms. We've had 4 publications in the last year to 18 months. We have power transformer audible sound requirements, the effective DC bias on power transformers, guide for transformer maintenance and transformer efficiency. So those are all now available. The guide for transformer maintenance was, I think, the most downloaded A2 brochure we had, and it was an older brochure as well, but it has had a bit of a birthday and brought up to date. And the convener for that, Claude, gave a tutorial based on that in the Montreal Symposium earlier in the year. And we also had the DC bias one, where the convener, Diane Sousa, who I think is here somewhere in the building, gave our presentation just a few weeks ago at the Sol Colloquium as well. And I've just stolen a little picture there to give you a bit of a teaser about that brochure and what some of the effects on transformers might be from DC bias. But you'll have to download the brochure and read it to get the answers, or hassle down at morning tea time. It's easier. And all of those can be downloaded now from ecgray.org. We've also published the second Green Book for transformers this year. It's Transformer and Reactor Life Management, which is aimed to give a comprehensive guide to life management right through from the procurement phase to the disposal, end of life. And it covers everything between operation, maintenance, testing, disposing and fault finding. And it covers all types of transformers as well. Traditional oil immersed, newer ester, and silicon gas insulated transformers and dry type transformers as well. So I think they're available from the Springer website if you're interested. This one just gives a bit of an outline of what the future topics areas that the study committee is looking at. I won't go through all of them in detail, but 3 of those have been pulled out to form the preferential subjects for next year, and specifically the Paris sessions. So the first one is major challenges to the power transformer industry, looking at things like the impact of existing ageing fleets and how to manage those, particularly in the face of supply chain disruptions and the increasing lead times of all sorts of equipment and materials that everyone's seeing now. And also looking at things like sustainability and full life cycle assessment of transformers through the procurement and operation phases. The second subject was power transformer digitalisation, looking at things like data collection from online monitoring systems and offline testing, and how best to sort of process that, bring it all together, maybe using some of the, as Tree mentioned earlier, some of the new artificial intelligence sort of processing that's coming along. And also looking at some standardisation of information changes, information exchange, standardising the format that's transferred between manufacturers and users, that sort of thing. And the third topic, failure prevention, detection and investigation, which is always an interesting one. So aim is to provide some detailed case histories, case studies for people to follow through and get some information from, and providing some guidelines basically for conducting root cause analysis, and also looking at best practice for monitoring and diagnostics of transformers. So yeah, that'll be a focus of Paris session next year. But yeah, on to local events. We had our A2 panel meeting in September in conjunction with the Adelaide conference, with a lot of the other panels, I think. We've currently got about 33 full-time members with a fairly good balance between utility, manufacturer and consultants. But one thing we don't have a good balance is a male-female split with only one female member on the panel. So if anyone knows any females that are interested in transformers, we would love to have more membership. Also listed up there are a few of the interesting presentation discussion topics we had throughout the day. I won't go through them all, but just highlight one of the interesting ones. We had a presentation and a bit of discussion on health condition assessment using data analytics, and it was interesting to see a couple of utilities actually taken one of the CGRE brochures that was published a few years ago and used the outcomes of that back into set up some of their internal condition monitoring processes. So it was good to see some CGRE work ending up being useful to utilities as well. Local events. We had a transformer workshop earlier on in the year where we were lucky enough to have international expert Professor Stefan Tembolen from Germany come out for a day, and he delivered his tutorial. He was the convener of the working group on AC transformer reliability, so he gave us that tutorial, which was a repeat of the Paris one, so it was great for the Australian audience. And he's also had a lot of history in transformer testing, so he gave us presentations on interpretation of FRA measurements and some online partial discharge measurements. And I've put his mugshot up there because he will also be our new incoming study committee chair, taking over in Paris next year. And speaking of study committee positions, Tara Lee, I haven't got her photo up there, but you can all meet her over here. She's also taking up the role of secretary of the study committee, working alongside Stefan, taking over in Paris. So congratulations, Tara Lee. It's a fantastic effort. We also had a joint Australia-New Zealand webinar that we had hosted by our NGN, and that was on challenges and solutions for connecting solar farms to the utility network. In that we had some perspectives from a New Zealand utility, Gurjeet, and Dan Martin gave us Australian perspective, and we had Dr. Barbara Das giving us some details on the importance of monitoring these GSU transformers that we are worldwide seeing some issues with failures. How am I going for time? Okay. So A2, the International Study Committee, we had our meeting in conjunction with the joint A2D1 colloquium in Seoul just a few weeks ago. And tutorials have been popular for us this year. We had 4 tutorials there. 2 were given by A2, 2 given by D1. And we had a whole host of presentations and posters there. And we had a good showing from Australia. We had Diane giving his presentation, but Adam, hiding up the back there, had a poster as well, and we had a couple of other Australian utilities and manufacturers there as well. So it was good show out from Australia. And we had a technical tour down to the KEPCO Power Testing Centre, which was really interesting. And that photo in the middle there was taken from halfway up a 750 kV transmission tower that they'd built a few of on the site there just to do all sorts of testing, long-term testing of conductors and corona and sag and all that sort of stuff. So not transformer related, but very interesting anyway. That's me. So yeah, last slide, upcoming events. In 2026, we're looking at running a transformer workshop here in Melbourne for 2 days. We haven't quite decided on a date yet, but if you keep an eye on the Seagrey Australia LinkedIn page, we'll have information there as soon as we can. Paris session later in the year, and in 2027 we'll have 2 symposia in Heidelberg, Germany and Bangkok, Thailand. And that's all I had. Thank you.